Live from the Pines, your favorite East Texas sports podcast, coming at you live tonight. I want to welcome a special guest joining us tonight from SEC Unfiltered, Mr. Dave Schumate. How you doing tonight, Dave?
Good, guys. Good. Appreciate y'all having me on, man. Fired up to be on, chop it up with some SEC football and obviously some Red River shootout stuff.
We appreciate you for joining us tonight. If you're watching tonight, make sure to like, subscribe, follow us on all socials. We really appreciate you guys. Also want to give a big shout-out to our guys at Zilker Belts. Use discount code PINES936 for all online orders. Receive 25% off. Thank those guys a lot. We appreciate them keeping us in style. How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good. Good last weekend. Went to the A&M Missouri game. Probably the least stressful big A&M game I've ever been to. Had a great time, though. Was out of there early.
Must be a nice feeling to have a good football team.
Y'all beat UCF this week. That
doesn't really matter. I mean, that was expected. It should have happened, but
I mean, y'all weren't favored. But
if the Yankees lose.
So, Spoon, you're a Gator?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Sad. Well, I mean, I guess right now, sadly, I don't know. I don't know where it is at this point.
So,
it is what it is.
Real quick question: Ole Miss losing last week, does that help push Lane Kiffin to Florida?
I think
they didn't lose last week.
The process if they lose again.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was.
I think it expedites the process if they lose again. It doesn't really do much because they still have a one-loss team in the SEC could probably still get the playoff, and then that's going to throw the timeline off completely with transfer or changing schools.
They play LSU this week, so it's a big possibility that they can drop that game.
Yeah. So,
but before we get into that, Dave, you kind of just want to give a rundown on kind of how you got into the football, talking football, kind of your start of your football career.
So I used to work in college football for 9 years, went to school at Alabama, got started there as a student assistant, and then I worked – my last year in college football was in 2021. We talked off of it, but I worked at Texas A&M in 17, 18, so I got hired in the spring of Kevin Sumlin's last year. Then shoot, y'all probably remember it as A&M fans. Remember the big blown lead in the first game in 17 against UCLA? We blew a 42-14 lead to Josh Rosen and them. So that was the downfall. I mean, someone was on the hot seat going that last year. And then Jimbo got hired. We were lucky to get retained. And then from there, I went to Kansas and UCF. And before that, I worked at Georgia, Auburn, and Alabama before that. So that's how I got started in college football. And then, my wife got tired of moving around. And we wanted to start having a family. So I have an 11-month-old. So he's about to be a year. Right. So, now looking at it now, we talk about it. I'd never see him if I still work in college football. So getting into the media side of things, I started a thing called Mock 10 Sports that me and Chris Phillips, who was with the Spurs Up show, and he rebranded the SEC Unfiltered, and I went over there to start doing content for them. So I still it's my way of still talking college football, still trying to stay in the sports world from that perspective without essentially giving 14 to 16 hours of my day to it without seeing my family. So that's why I kind of did. So worked 9 years college football, do SEC Unfiltered now.
As a student assistant, does Nick Saban look your way at all?
No, he would not know my name. No. Dude, I have a good story. So Kevin Scherer was saying he was an analyst he was at Georgia State. He'd been at Tennessee and Georgia in the past, but he was an analyst at Alabama. And he said he interviewed with Nick Saban for the job. And he was like, man, he's like really personable in the one-on-one interview. He was like, dude, he's not what anybody says. He's like, this is great. He's like, I worked there for 2 years. He's like, how many more conversations do you think I had with him? I was like, I don't know, like 3 or 4. He's like, 0. He's like, dude, me and him got in an elevator one time when I'd worked there for like 6 months, and dude, he just put his head down and he's like, this is awkward. We never even talked at all. But he's like, dude, so interview-wise, he's like, I thought this guy was totally different. Then when you get in the building, he's like, nope, it's just you're a robot, man. You just go do your job and that's it.
That's what it seems like such a it was, I guess, now that he's gone, such a well-oiled machine over there. There's some other guy that's on TikTok all the time that I see him, and how I think he was talking about one of Nick Saban's like celebrity golf outings, not celebrity golf outings, but like a charity golf outing. And he's like, I've got a meeting at 4 or a meeting at 3. I got a tea time at like 3:36.
Oh, I saw that.
And like, I'm ready or helicopter, whatever it was, and it was like
that guy that you saw that video. He was my boss in Alabama. That's who I work for now. So I work for a recruiting software company. He's the CEO of that, and I'm over sales. So Tyler Siskey, that's who I think.
Didn't they say like when Nick Saban got to the back nine, they would call him and they'd be like, then you can tee off, and they would like go behind him.
Yeah,
so that's funny.
So,
No, but you're right. The consistency was amazing.
Yeah.
Is really what it wasn't like he's the most knowledgeable X's and O's guy. It's just the consistency of everybody.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
That's what, and obviously when you talk about coaching trees, he just kind of funnels that in. It's like you said that guy was an analyst or whatever. Like he brings in Bill O'Brien and he's an analyst for a year, then offensive coordinator, now he's gone. Sark, same thing. Lane
Dan Lanning.
Yeah.
Pretty smart. I mean, that's just
Lynn Schumate. Yeah, it's just a tree of people. Yeah, if you went in there, you went on to bigger, better things, essentially.
Yeah. Like that's I would love to be a fly on the wall in those meetings where I guess he sits at the head of the table.
You know, I was never in meetings. I would never say. No, I was just a student. I was just a student, dude. I was not privy to those.
Like just sitting there looking at like you've got probably 2 or 3 ex-head coaches not even sitting at the table where everybody else is sitting at because they're basically in their rehab stint getting ready to go somewhere else. And like just the
Mario Cristobal was on one of those staffs.
Wow. I wonder how many head coaches are high-end
coordinators. You had the 15 staff was full of. It was Billy Napier, Kirby Smart, Mario Cristobal, Lane Kiffin.
God. Wasn't Sam Pittman on there?
He was an analyst.
That's crazy.
Wasn't Pittman at Alabama too?
No, I think he got offered the offensive line job at one point, but he stayed at Georgia.
Nice. That's crazy. I mean, that's got to be – I mean, when you think about good coaching – sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. But, like, everybody thinks about that, what, is it 2000 – whatever Nick Saban's team at LSU was when you had Jimbo's offensive coordinator.
03. Yeah.
And I don't even know – I don't even know if they had analysts in 03 or whatever, if they would even pay for those positions.
Yeah.
Like, to think about on one coaching staff, it's just –
that was a star-studded staff, too. You're right.
Yeah.
But, it's wild.
Hey,
but
I know we ain't got long. We just want to ask you a question real quick. So, Alabama loses last week to Vanderbilt. You know, it's a game that you never think Alabama's going to drop, but the way it played out, Alabama basically beat themselves that game. How do you think that affects them the rest of the season?
Man, that's a good question. Did y'all see any of that? Did y'all see the stuff Malachi Moore came out with?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, if that would apply to Nick Saban.
In quicker, the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, he quoted something saying he wants the signals in quicker. I don't know if that was why he was throwing, quote-unquote,
I read the quote exactly, and it was something, I'm just paraphrasing here. Essentially, the way I took it, he was saying, like, we need to get the plays in quicker. Essentially, Coach Womack needs to, like, kind of learn that, like, hey, we have better players than he had at South Alabama, so you don't have to call the perfect play every time.
Yeah.
Just kind of let us go play. It was almost, I mean, maybe I'm taking it the wrong way, but it was almost like he kind of was like, like he needed to take responsibility, and he has to an extent, kind of like them too. It was very like, oh, dang. And I didn't even think Vanderbilt was going that up tempo, but I mean, that still doesn't mean they were getting the signal. That still doesn't mean they couldn't have been getting the signals in late.
I mean, did you see the video? They had like the angle of, the Womack, they sent the player out to go sub him in. Malachi Moore basically waves him off while Kalen DeBoer and him are waving him in.
Yeah.
He basically tells him to F off. I mean, in your perspective, do you think that would have flew? Because he's a team captain, right? I mean, would that have flew in a Nick Saban?
For 5 years, yeah. I mean, he's won 3 SEC championships.
Would that have flew with a Nick Saban head coach?
Oh,
team?
Nick Saban was on the sideline. There's no way that happens. Just from a present standpoint, I don't think that would have happened. I mean, right now, I'm trying to think in the situation. You could call a timeout and I guess technically drag him off the field. But I do think we all know now, if you've watched any football, and I know you three have as well, or you've watched any of these press conferences. I mean, DeBoer obviously is more like a
collected,
like back.
Nick Saban. It just kind of right, wrong, or indifferent. It kind of is what it is. So I think he's gonna let. And again, like Saban did. I mean, Saban let stuff slide that never got out and stuff. Like Rolando McClain went into a fraternity house and beat the shit out of some kid one day and it never got out, and he didn't miss anything. So it's one of those things. It's like it happened under Nick, but like I'll say this, like that specific incident would not have, though, just because I think it's kind of like you look to the sideline and it's like Nick Saban's over there staring at you. Like, I don't know. I would guess, maybe I'm wrong, but I would guess he wouldn't have done that if Nick Saban was on the side.
I feel like somebody would go out there to the damn middle of the field and snatch him off the. I mean,
and I get why he was mad, dude. I mean, he's a 5th-year guy. Was on the team. I mean, he's won a national championship. He's a freshman.
Never lost to Vanderbilt.
No, and they've won 3 SEC championships, been to multiple playoffs under him. Yeah. And to be fair, I mean, again, not excusing any of his actions. I can just see him, and I'm sure y'all can too. Like, where the frustration comes from. You're like the oldest guy in a room with a bunch of either transfers or 3 true freshmen in a 6 scholarship corner room, and you're kind of like, man, dude, I am the only one who has like no clue that like this shouldn't be happening. And it's maybe hitting the kid in the moment. Now, you going up and kicking the football is totally on you. I mean, you went out of your way to go do that. It wasn't like the ball rolled by you and you just kicked it. I mean, you walked to the line of scrimmage and kicked it.
Waited for him to put it down.
Excuse that. I mean, should he be suspended for a game again? I mean, I know they're not. I mean, DeBoer came out and said they handled something internally. I don't know. I was just a little surprised more so that he came out post-practice and was essentially like, nah, like the DC takes a lot of responsibility in this too. I mean, he said it without saying it. At least that's how I
didn't see that. Wow.
Yeah.
But what's your kind of takeaway? I know Jalen said Alabama did beat themselves, pick 6, fumble sack. But I mean, Vanderbilt, they went out and won the game, you could say as well.
That game wasn't a fluke on Saturday. Now, I think if they played like a best out of 7 series, I think Alabama probably wins the next 6. But like on Saturday, it wasn't a fluke. Vanderbilt was the better team. I mean, they never trailed. I think Alabama was down by double digits multiple times in that game. So I think it was a credit to Vanderbilt's offensive game plan. Like you can make a case they're a top 5-6 offense in the league from they're a total pain in the ass to prepare for.
The way they ran that triple, that quarterback is one of the best makers I've ever seen.
He's got a real feel for that.
Yeah, the way he ran that triple option, and he was just – you could see the Alabama defenders were all just fucked up trying to get around the ball, and he's on the other side of the field 50 yards already.
Just playing on their heels, the defense was. They were just totally – I mean, again, I never understood a little bit why Bama was always like in nickel when it looked like Vanderbilt was like in 12 personnel. I was like, dude, just get in base. They may hit you deep a couple of times, but dude, I don't like – I mean, they're picking up 3 to 4 and getting third and manageable and run or pass, whatever the hell they want on third and 4. You don't know what they're doing. I don't know. Like the offense to me, though, I think was fine. I mean, they only possessed the ball for 17 minutes, and they scored 34 points.
Yeah. I mean, what did they score every time except when they turned the ball over?
Yeah, I think 5 out of 8 possessions they scored, and one of them was the pick 6. That again, I'm not making any excuses. Probably again, if they throw that ball 9 times out of 10, not trying to sound like Hugh Freeze here, when they say. We beat them 9 times out of 10. But I think if you throw that ball again, it doesn't hit his helmet. It probably just falls to the ground. And it's incomplete. And then you had the strip sack fumble when they were driving. Yeah, Bama's offense outside of probably not winning the field position battle. But again, I think a little bit of that falls on the defense too. I don't know. Vanderbilt had the ball for 42 minutes. Like they just controlled the whole game.
Yeah. Alabama scores 35 points against Vanderbilt. You expect Alabama's defense to be able to hold them under that. And what's your opinion on is Womack right, the defense coordinator? I mean, I saw a bunch of Bama fans kind of, spread and going after him a little bit on his adjustments and how they were kind of playing, and Vanderbilt just running all over him. I mean,
what do y'all think? I mean, I think it's a little. I think you got to give him.
Yeah,
they play South Carolina this week. They play Tennessee next week. I'll say this: the Vanderbilt scheme's so unique that I think it's such a as y'all know, dude. Kids don't really see any of that kind of spread triple option regularly, so to them, it's like their heads spinning. And then I think this week, dude, South Carolina goes and torches them. Yeah, they're in deep shit. South Carolina's not good on offense. I think the next time you go circle the wagons and talk about him is at Tennessee. If you go get 40-something dropped on you against Tennessee, and y'all know Tennessee hadn't really been lighting the world on fire offensively either. And if they magically find their groove against you, it's probably a little combination of you're not very good on defense.
Yeah, back-to-back games, you go from Georgia, and they scored, 33.5, and then you let Vanderbilt put up 40 on you. South Carolina should scare you a little bit. This game felt like, everybody talks about the letdown game after the big game, and I never really saw it happen, I guess because Nick Saban never really had a letdown game at Alabama. It's happened at other places. And this
against Vanderbilt?
Yeah. Vanderbilt's beat Florida twice in I don't know how many years. So Vanderbilt's good according to me. No. But Alabama having a letdown game, you just never saw it under Nick Saban, and obviously it's Kalen DeBoer's first year. And I think even Kirby Smart lost to him in the first year too. But
Les Miles dropped the homecoming to Troy and
but it never felt like because Vanderbilt came out on top and never was behind it just never felt like a great game from
Well,
Alabama.
the wild thing to me too is like I think y'all would probably agree. At least we all look all very similar in the same age range there, but probably all millennials at some point. But like in our lifetime, I can never remember like a peak and valley week to week from beating Georgia and then the very next week losing. And to be fair, this isn't like a traditional Vanderbilt. I think is actually pretty
they're not the normal Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I think they probably get to 6 this year.
Yeah,
like they're not your traditional Vanderbilt. So, but from like 1 week to the next, be like, oh man, you beat Georgia, you moved to number 1 in the country. Then the next week, you're just essentially like a no-show.
Yeah,
against Vanderbilt.
I mean, the whole week, everybody's like the new coach. I mean, DeBoer, it's just seamless transition. Everybody's not crowning them, but everybody's praising them. For going out there beating Georgia year 1, and then just to be on that high, and then to go all the way to that low in 1 week is just wild. But it's college football. That's why it's so great.
I think you expect Alabama in this position. Like, when you line up 11 guys against Vanderbilt's 11 guys, you don't think you're going to lose ever. Like, Alabama has recruited at the level it's where you're going to have 11 athletes on that side that should be better than just about everybody else in the country on that side.
Yeah.
To where you can have those peaks and valley games, but they should be good enough to pull it away from that. And then just to never lead in the game and to let up 40 on the defensive side of the ball, like that's just it's.
And like the line of scrimmage, that's what made it crazy. Like they weren't Vanderbilt. I guess you could say they were winning it, but I mean, just to see a Bama team get versus Vanderbilt like on the line of scrimmage like that was just crazy.
A lot like you said, Dave. Though, like you take a team with Vanderbilt's offense, you take a defense with Alabama's speed, aggressive. It's hard for those guys to play like a. Watch the ball, attack. They're that triple option. You take that many athletes out there, and Alabama's used to going to the ball. That really hurts an athletic defense like Alabama, especially when you're aggressive. You're blowing the gaps up. You're rushing the backfield with the ball. You don't know where the ball's at. It's it's going left or right. You never know. So that takes a big toll on Alabama's defense. And Alabama beat Georgia last week. They lose to Vanderbilt, but I was sitting at work today thinking, I think that lights a fire into Alabama's ass, and that makes me think that Alabama might come out and beat the shit out of everybody and go win a national championship. And I might be wrong, but a team like Alabama, you beat them like that, those kids are pissed off. They're embarrassed because it's Alabama. You lost to Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt. Hell, they carried the field goal post 4 miles down
into the river.
Into the river. Like they disrespect. They deserved every bit of what they did. They got embarrassed on national TV. So my opinion is, I think it does nothing but better Alabama, and it's gonna make them go beat the shit out of everybody now.
Maybe.
Okay, can y'all imagine if Alabama won the SEC and went 13-1 with the 1 loss to
Vanderbilt?
Yeah. That's Alabama shit.
Yeah. No.
Their defense is very
I mean,
good.
let's be honest too. If they just keep winning, they'll be favored in every game going forward.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that unless they played like Texas or Georgia in the 12 regular season games.
Hey, Dave. No, nothing taken away from A&M. They played a great game. They handled Missouri.
Oh God.
Do you think Missouri's a fraud?
Are we to that? Can we say mid-zoo at this point? I don't know. I always thought they were about 8-4, 9-3 this year, and I think their schedule's still probably going to allow them to end up like that. They could probably be one of the they finished 9-3. They could be one of the worst 9-3 teams we can remember in a while. I think their defense is very average to not very good. When you look at their schedule though, and again, Brady Cook hadn't been in it. He hadn't played well all year. He's missed so many deep shots at the third level. I mean, if he can't improve, I mean, we know they have skilled guys on the receiver spot. And I didn't know why they kind of abandoned the run, the outside zone against A&M real early last week. I don't know why, but it just kind of felt like they got down real quick and they're like, we got to start slinging it around. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do y'all think? Their schedule's pretty manageable. I don't know if I see that many losses though. I mean, you still got at Alabama, which will be tough. They play Auburn next week at home, which I think Auburn gets somebody at some point, either Missouri or Kentucky.
I think Mizzou was ranked. They were projected to do so good. They were ranked so high that everybody kind of jumped on the bandwagon. Mizzou might be the real deal, and I'm one of them. I thought they were going to be pretty good. They have one of the best receiver corps in college football.
Yeah.
But, when you start watching them more and watch them in the A&M game, it's like they couldn't get anything really going. They break a big play, and then they go back to what was not working instead of going to what was working. And I think
Well,
I don't
nothing
think,
like that.
not taking anything away from A&M. I just think that, like, you know, they are not as good as we went in that game thinking they were.
Well, no doubt. They got routed, but should have been more than 31, but Drinkwitz wanted to kick a damn field goal on the 3-yard line at the end of the game. That was crazy.
Drinkowitz was totally Elko totally played a chess move over the old checkers move over Eli with the move.
And I mean, Drinkwitz, I was kind of a fan of him coming into the week, but the stuff he pulled with the – did you see the blanket they put in the hotel room for Theo Wees?
Yeah, A&M did. Yeah, that what Will Lee did.
Well, Will Lee said he didn't do it, and Elko said on the press conference, and they need to go ask the coaching staff at Mizzou, Eli, about that.
Oh, really? I didn't see it. So Will Lee came out. A&M said they didn't do it.
Well, it's like Will Lee came out in an interview and was like, how am I supposed to know what room he's in? Go to the hotel, know what room he's in, plant the blanket without anybody seeing me. Like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so,
to be fair, it's kind of like, too, it's like, yeah, I mean, I get you have NIL money and stuff. But as y'all know, that was like a nice-looking A&M blanket. That's pretty expensive to spend that on.
But then he showed up to the stadium wearing it, and then he gets that one big catch. But, I mean, the game, I thought it was going to be a pretty damn close game. I was coming in hoping A&M could score more than 24, 28, and they come out and score 41. And I've been on the show saying that
A&M is a potential playoff team with the schedule down the road.
I mean, if they play like that, but there's so much ball left. If they play like that.
If they win that LSU game in they got Mississippi State, which I think Mississippi State's terrible. I'd be shocked if they lost.
Yeah, we got a bye week.
And then they get with an LSU at home. They were to win that. The only other tricky one left is that at South Carolina one that obviously at Texas at the end of the year. Potentially Auburn, but it's doable if you go win that LSU game.
No, it is.
The Auburn game, like Auburn played Georgia pretty damn good.
Auburn is one of the you watch them. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. When you watch Auburn, you're not like, man, I'm watching a really bad football team.
No, you're not.
You're just like they commit terrible penalties and just turn it over.
Yes.
But do they
I watched that game last week and I thought the same shit.
Yeah, they're not as bad. It's like you said, it wouldn't shock me if Auburn got somebody down there. And again, if they keep some internal motivation, because as y'all know, in today's time with the portal coaches leaving every year now, like once you get out of like a bowl eligibility, people start doing the self-preservation crap. Or like helping them worry about themselves. So I mean, Auburn's gonna have to have some momentum, I think, to keep their heads above water. But no, you're right. It wouldn't shock me if they got either Missouri or Kentucky though.
Whenever you talk about A&M, though, with that defense, I mean, the defense, if they're balling out like that, I think they'll continue to improve. But, I mean, that defense with the D-line, secondary is getting better. But the offense was what I was kind of worried about. And I was coming into the game, I was like, Marcel Reed's got to start. We've won 3 games with him. I mean, maybe if he comes out, plays bad, put him in. But for Elko to have the cojones to start Connor Wigman after missing that many times, I mean, that's why he get paid $1 million. But what was your kind of take on how he came out and performed like that?
Yeah, I'm with you, Cole. I'd totally be lying to you if I didn't think if you made me make the decision. Now, again, we both weren't at practice, so I don't really know what they were doing in practice that week. But I would have went with Reed too. I mean, the guy committed no turnovers going into the game. Like you said, he was 3-0. Now, I will say this: you gave Elko credit too, and Elko was the DC my first year there. Like very stern, brash dude, but he's very smart. I'll give him credit. If he would have played Connor Wigman and it went south, people would have been pissed, I think. People would have been like, dude, what are you doing? Like, but to give him, I think he knew that, hey, maybe we can go beat Mizzou with Marcel Reed, but I don't know if we can go beat like an LSU with Marcel Reed or a Texas with Marcel Reed. I think he saw long-term, like, hey, if we ultimately want to reach our ceiling this year, Wigman gives us the ability, because as y'all know in college football now, you got to be able to stretch the field and hit explosive plays. I mean, that could be on the ground or through the air, but like you can't. It's tough now to go ask a 18 to 22-year-old to consistently go drive the field for 10 to 12 play drives without making any kind of mistakes. And y'all know, one false start, holding penalty, you're behind the sticks, you're probably punting at some point. So you got to be able to generate. Like I think Alabama relies too much on the big play. But I think it's why it makes them one of the better offenses in the country now, because they're never really out of games because they can score in 2 to 3 plays. So I think Elko, to my point here, knows they're more explosive in the vertical passing game with Wigman. And if they ultimately want to go make the playoffs, finish 10-2, at least be in that 9-3 range, which would be a phenomenal first year, I think Connor Wigman gives them that best shot, even though his legs aren't what Marcel Reed's are. And Marcel Reed did a phenomenal job in his 3 starts, 3-0, again, no turnovers. So I think it was a gamble, and it looks like it's paid off, and I think we would all agree. I mean, I think Wigman gives them the highest upside if he's playing his best football.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dave, I know you got to get out of here, but one last game I want to ask you about. Let's talk about that Texas-Oklahoma game this weekend.
I've never been. Have y'all?
I've been to the fair when it was going on.
Yeah.
How long does that state fair go on?
Oh, the month of October.
Yeah, the whole month.
Oh, so it's the whole month out there, huh?
Yeah, the whole month.
I need to get out there to that game, man. What's Lufkin to Dallas?
3 hours.
3 hours.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's not that bad.
We're getting a new hangar put in our airport in Diboll. You fly into Diboll.
You fly into Dallas.
It's Lufkin. It's not far. It's not far from us. You fly in there. We'll take you to Dallas. We'll all go to the game.
Yeah,
I'm down.
It's put it in the works, but Quinn Ewers hasn't played in 3 games, so they're going back to Quinn. And I read an article that Sark had already planned to sit Quinn a few games this season before they go in the Oklahoma week. Yeah, even if he wasn't injured, he planned on sitting him and let Arch play.
You saw that? Where?
Yeah.
Why would they just sit him?
It's on Twitter. You can go read it. Sark said it in the interview.
You sure your eyes closed when you saw it?
His plan was to let Arch get a couple games in before they go to Oklahoma, just in case they need Arch later in the season.
Okay.
And I think Quinn coming in this game fresh. I think he's been healthy for 2 weeks. Like he's been ready to go for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think
what was it? Was it a rib bruise? They said, wasn't it?
It was
abdomen area. Yeah. Oblique.
Yeah.
Oblique.
And
what's your take on the game, kind of prediction wise? How do you see
this is always one of the games I want to get to. I want to go next year. Seems like it'd be a really cool neutral field environment kind of standpoint of like how would it have half of it's a road game for a half and the other's a home game. I think this specific game, I mean, tell me if y'all disagree. I feel like when you go into games, you always look like what's a path to victory for each team. And I see numerous paths for Texas. I mean, I could see them just totally blowing Oklahoma out of the water. I don't think I'd be surprised by that. I could see them running their way to victory. Again, now I think Oklahoma's defense is going to present a bunch of challenges to them as well. But it wouldn't shock me if Texas played really well on Saturday, but it also wouldn't shock me if Quinn Ewers came out and a little rusty. I mean, hadn't played in a live game action in 4 weeks if you're factoring in the bye week. But I don't know. I think Texas has the special teams advantage with Jeff Banks as the coordinator, and then with Bert Auburn as the kicker. I don't know. I think for Oklahoma to win this game, they're gonna have to be probably like +3 in turnover margin. That's what they were last year, and they barely won. I looked it up today. They gained 3 turnovers. Texas didn't didn't gain a single one of them. So they were +3. I think it's gonna be something similar to that. I think it's gonna have to be. And I mean, Seth Luttrell, the OC at Oklahoma. This is my last week for him. If it doesn't improve offensively this week, you've had 2 weeks to know that Michael Hawkins is your starting quarterback. It doesn't have to go look phenomenal, dude. I get it. It's not the best situation. It looks like your receivers are still going to be out, a lot of them. Who knows if Deion Burks plays. But, dude, have some plan that's built within his strengths where you and him met throughout the last 2 weeks. Like, hey, dude, what do you like? What do you don't like? This plays to your strengths. Get out of the RPO game. He's a true freshman. Do not make him make decisions out there. Simplify it for him.
Yeah.
I still think
I want to see a little bit more of that. And if they're only putting up 7 to 10 points, again, I think Texas's defense is good. I don't think it's as good as last year. Then the secondary, I think, still hasn't been tested, and it may not this week with Michael Hawkins. But if I'm Oklahoma fans, look, you want to win that game. There's no moral victories in this one. But we've had 2 weeks to prepare. Let's look like we were trying to do something to fit some strengths, maybe even going away from our core beliefs as an offensive coordinator. I don't know. In our prediction, we put the video out on Sunday, Monday, and I actually, as the week goes on, I think Texas wins this by double digits. Now, I think 14.5 is a lot. That hook gets me. That half point, I mean, it's like a 3 point. It's a 3 point or game at that point. So, I mean, I don't know. I think Texas wins, dude. I'd be a little shocked. I think Oklahoma would have to force 3+ turnovers.
Do you think Jackson Arnold just completely wrote off?
I do. It wouldn't shock me if we saw him this week if Michael Hawkins just looks terrible.
I think
you'd have to give Arnold another shot, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think that I've said it all year. I watched him play in a state championship in high school, and he's a tank. He's a big boy. He can throw the ball. He can beat you with his legs. But I just think Oklahoma wasn't the right fit for him, and I might be wrong. I
100% agree with you. I think I was almost putting him in the same category with Connor Wigman a little bit, like fitting the Colin Klein system. Yeah. Colin Klein likes to run his quarterback. That's not Connor Wigman.
And I think that – do I think that Oklahoma left Jackson Arnold too early? Yes. I think that, half his weapons were sitting on the bench hurt.
Yeah.
And, hurt all year.
He was out there. He played like shit. He fumbled the ball, 3 times, threw a couple picks. And
we fumbled the one. The worst part about his turnovers that game against Tennessee, where they were literally the very next play after their defense had just got off the field.
Yeah.
I can't take care of the ball.
He goes somewhere else. I don't think his career is over. I don't either.
He'll definitely transfer.
It wouldn't shock me if he's at Mississippi State with Jeff Levy next year.
Yeah.
Or Auburn.
Starting.
Yeah, I can see that.
Auburn got my damn quarterback.
I think
the half seems like too much. It's that hook at the end. I mean, what was it? Other than was it the year before last when Texas kind of blew them out?
Yeah.
What it's like I don't know if it's like 9 of the last 11 or 10 of the last 12. Whatever it is, it's been decided between like 1-score games. And Texas has had down years when Oklahoma's had up years in those last 10 years or so. And so this game is always like you go to these schools for these games. Like you go to Alabama for the Iron Bowl. You go to Texas for Texas OU. You go to Florida for Georgia. There's just these games you step up for that you just never know. And that's why college football is the way it is. But 15 points is, I think, a little too much in a game like this, especially with, like you said, Quinn coming off of 3-4 weeks going by of not playing football. Like, obviously, he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But, like, it's your rival. And people step up. They make plays they shouldn't make. They make plays that they shouldn't make in terms of turnovers. And that's where, like, OU needed to be probably in the turnover column. Could happen, and it could make it a lot closer than it should be. Because
I probably wouldn't touch that game, but if you made me bet it, I'd probably take the 14.5.
It's just hard.
I think it's gonna be a rivalry game. I think it's gonna be pretty close, but I think Texas pulls away at the end. So if I had to pick,
that's where I'm at.
Because Oklahoma has they have a good defense, but I just don't know if their offense can.
I don't generate consistent points without getting short fields or the defense scoring.
And that's why I think Arnold. I think we see Arnold in the second half because Hawkins struggles a little bit. Yeah, I think they'll get him a shot.
If Quinn comes out flat, does Sark go to Arch?
Yes.
I think it'll take a lot.
If they're down,
I think it to be a real flat half. Don't y'all think like a total first half?
Quinn again. I mean, that's kind of tough to put him back. I mean, if you sit him.
Oh no, because I read at work today. They're going to be monitoring Quinn, all through the game, and they're going to do a lot of. They're going to do a lot of things, that they normally don't do to protect him this week. And Arch is healthy, and I do believe Quinn is healthy, but he is coming off of a pretty good injury.
No, you're right. All it takes is one shot.
Yeah.
So I think if they're down 2 scores, kind of early in the third, then we could see Arch for sure. I mean, that would be. That's a long shot.
But to me, it feels like it had to be a couple plays. Like y'all remember that? I mean, hell, it was 2 weeks ago. Y'all definitely remember. Like the Carson back pick against Alabama on that screen early. It had to be stuff like that. Like, dude, what are you doing, dude? You're single-handedly like losing us this game almost.
But
it had to be bad.
As much as a vet as Quinn is by now, like I think, like he got a full 2 weeks to practice basically. Well. I think he came back last week to practice, so he got a full 2 weeks to practice. It's it's gonna be hard to catch catch him not on his game. So we might see a Quinn Ewers that we've seen week 1 and week 2. You never know. It's just one of those things you got to wait to game time to tell.
He was playing really well too. You're right. He may not have missed a beat.
He's playing great. But
all right, Dave. I know you probably got to get out of here, but one last take. I know it's minutes. I mean, the best game of the week on paper should be Oregon-Ohio State. And I know we're all SEC fans in that, but you have 2 versus 3 going up. What do you see the outcome of this game coming out to be? It's Ohio State's first time being tested, kind of Oregon's first time. But, I mean, they played close games. Probably their offensive line's fault, those first 2 games. But I don't know. This game's kind of a toss-up.
Ohio State beats the shit out of Oregon.
I lean Ohio State too. It's like every week again. I bet on Oregon. The week they played Oregon State, I think they finally covered.
Yeah,
they just hadn't looked good at all through the first 6 weeks. Like you watch them, you're just like you're wanting to this is the week they're going to come on. Oh, this is the week they're going to come on, and you're just like, that offensive line just has not played well. And Dylan Gabriel was the quarterback when I was at UCF. And like, if there's any kind of interior pressure against him, he's throwing off his back foot. He does not want to get hit, so he'll throw off his back foot and stuff. You can rattle him a little bit. But again, it's at Alton Stadium. It's in Eugene, so that gives them a fight. But I think Ohio State, that defense is going to be a little too much.
Yeah, I think Ohio State walks in that game and handles Oregon. And I'm just not I'm not big on Dylan Gabriel. I'm not big on Oregon. I think they're explosive. They have the offense to be explosive, but I think Ohio State's the real deal. I think it's one of those
Jeremiah
things.
Smith is like
Crazy.
Him and Ryan Williams at wide receiver. I mean, it's just
and it's wild. They're both in the same class. Yeah.
It's just they are crazy. And
you can't forget Ibuka. He had like 3 TDs last week.
Yeah,
Emeka Ibuka too. Yeah.
Yeah, he had 3 TDs last week, and he'll probably be a first-round draft pick.
There's probably about at least 3 first-round draft picks in the future at receiver in this game. I mean,
yeah.
There's a
Smith,
lot.
Ibuka,
Johnson,
Ibuka,
kids, not bad.
Evan Stewart, maybe might get in there. Johnny Wilson, but
Dave, we appreciate you joining us tonight. We definitely love to do it again, man. We appreciate you coming on and doing this with us.
Y'all let me know whenever, man. I'll love to come on. I love chopping it up with you guys.
Yeah, we'll shoot you a text of the games we're going to post this week and get your opinion. We'll post our picks. And
perfect.
You got to get out of here.
Who's NBC Unfiltered? I saw they were posting some baseball stuff today. Who follows baseball the most over there?
Over there, it's probably Harrison follows it. I do the college basketball stuff, so Harrison will do baseball. I'll do college basketball.
Yeah,
nice. Well, we appreciate you coming on, taking time.
Dude, seriously, y'all, if y'all wanted me on every week, I'd come on up. But y'all let me know whenever y'all want me to come back on, and I'll be on.
Yeah,
hey, we'll do it. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Later.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
So David's about to join us, but no reason to stop. What do you guys think about LSU and Ole Miss this week?
Are we doing our picks?
No, we'll wait for David. We got time.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to write down the spreads. Y'all go.
I mean, I think
it's gonna be a really good game.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust Ole Miss. I don't trust LSU. Ole Miss is favored by 3.5.
It's in Death Valley.
Points. It's 61.5 total. This feels like a game that Lane Kiffin shouldn't win, so he's probably going to win it.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss has no problems with LSU. LSU has looked a little shaky all year, but Ole Miss, I did not see them losing this early in the season. I thought they would have lost. It'd have been SEC championship if they made it by chance. But I think Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss, runs with this game big time.
I do know. I just think.
I think it's going to be a really good game.
The front four for Ole Miss has got to step up, and I think they can against LSU. Obviously, they've had struggles running the ball. Like Ole Miss, it's there for the taking, and now they have a path of kind of like that could be the team that they're ranked high enough. They're not going to make the SEC championship game, but they're going to have one loss probably at the end of the season as long as they handle business finishing. And so it's like if they can figure it out. They got to play Georgia, so they shouldn't have lost to Kentucky. That's why I thought they were going to finish with one loss. But that if they finish with one loss,
Ole Miss might beat Georgia.
I don't know. I don't think
they can.
Yeah, they definitely can beat. I don't think Georgia is as good as everybody thinks they are. I think their defense is, solid, but I don't think they can score the ball like, Ole Miss can. And I think Ole Miss, if they get in that game, Ole Miss has a big chance of beating Georgia.
Nussmeier can sling it around.
Where's that game?
That's why if LSU had a little bit of better defense, I would definitely pick them at home with Kyron Lacey and Nussmeier.
Yeah,
I think Ole Miss scores a little too much. I think it's a close game though, because at Death Valley, LSU's kind of. They don't want to be 4-2 going into playing A&M. So,
fuck it. Let's just go ahead and throw our picks in. What's the spread at?
-3.5. Ole Miss.
Give me Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah, write this shit down. Ole Miss.
I'll take Ole Miss too.
And Cole, who do you want?
we all picked Ole Miss, so I don't know if I can do that. But I'm gonna go Ole Miss with defense. LSU's defense looking still fraudulent.
And let's hop back to that Texas-Oklahoma game. I'll take the Horns. What's the spread at 14.5?
Yeah.
I'll take the Horns.
Any reasoning?
No reason to explain. We talked about it.
I'll take Oklahoma. I feel like that's just too much of a rivalry game.
And then
plus 14.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 14.5 is a lot. For a rivalry game, Ole Miss doesn't really have. I mean, Oklahoma doesn't really have an offense, but I think they keep it. They probably lose by 10 or 14, so I'm gonna go Oklahoma plus 14.5.
What's the spread on the Ohio State-Oregon game?
3.
Give me Ohio State.
Okay.
Just run it through.
We already talked about them.
I know. I'm trying to write this shit down. Take a little bit. So you said what? Ohio State?
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Trey?
I mean,
It's at Eugene.
Yeah, Dave alluded to it earlier. The offensive line has been a problem for Oregon. It just really has. And you could see it kind of those first couple weeks. But they figured it out against Oregon State. And I don't think they've really looked back since then. It's going to be a really good game. I think Ohio State doesn't really have, that Nick Bosa, that Joey Bosa, those kind of guys up front this year. And so if Oregon's offensive line holds up pretty well, that I think they have a legit chance of winning this game, and I'll take the 3 points.
Nice. I'm really tempted to take Oregon since I picked them to win the Big Ten. I don't know if I want to go with my gut and pick Ohio State, or if I just want to ride with my pick. But Oregon has looked not perfect especially the first 3 or 4 weeks. They're kind of starting to get it together these last 2 weeks, a little bit. So, but I'm gonna go Ohio State in a close one.
I know a game that we're all going to think different on. Kansas State, Colorado.
What's the different thinking there?
Well, we're all going to pick very different on that game.
What are you picking?
I'm going Colorado.
You're fucking stupid.
To win?
All right. You said that last week. You said that the week before last. You said that the week before then. Like
Colorado TikTok got beef with Trey.
Yeah, Colorado's 4-1. Okay, yeah, they won on the Hail Mary. Who gives a shit? They won on the Hail Mary. Who gives a shit?
All right, the spread is. I thought it'd be more than this, but it's only K-State 4.5.
Yeah. Colorado covers easy.
Oh,
easy.
Colorado covers.
Shedeur Sanders might have his best game this week against.
So Colorado covers or Colorado wins?
Yeah,
they cover. They win both. Whatever you want to put down on there. Colorado they're going to beat Kansas State. They're going to cover the spread.
Kansas State might put up the total by themselves.
Whatever you think, Pods.
56.
I'm going to be sitting on the couch and medicated, just enjoying that.
Probably sitting right next to me over here.
You got to go pick me up because I can't drive for 2 days.
True. Exactly. That's why you're going to be sitting over here.
Hey, you can say what you want to say about Colorado. I said it first show of this year. I'm riding with them. They're 4-1. All I need is one more game to cover my bets. Colorado's the real deal. Yeah, it was 5. We looked it up at lunch.
I didn't have as much confidence as Jalen. I didn't have as much confidence as Jalen. I did pick them to win 6 games, but I don't think they can do it this week versus K-State. Avery Johnson and them looking pretty good last week.
And Colorado doesn't?
They do, but their defense, I don't know if they can stop their running.
They got Travis fucking Hunter out there. That's all you need.
He's not a D lineman. He's not a linebacker.
I bet you he can play it if he needed to.
He can, but he can only do so much. They can run the other way.
First of all, he definitely could not. Like Travis
I bet he can find a way to do it. The kid's a freak athlete. He reminds me of myself a lot. The way the kid, he plays sideline to sideline.
He reminds you of who?
Myself a lot. But keep going. You put him at receiver. He runs a 40.
He didn't want to talk about it.
You said what?
Rush over you playing football.
If Travis Hunter lined up for me, I'd whoop Travis Hunter's ass on the field.
He quit because he got a concussion. That's what he told me the other day.
I had
he also broke his toe running a route. I don't know what he did. He did a lot of stuff in football. But give me Kansas State -10. I don't know. I'll fucking whatever. Like count that as 2 wins because I'll probably lose every other bet. Like
The over is at 56.5.
Yeah, I'll take the over.
I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored.
I won't because Colorado's gonna have to throw the ball a lot, and Shadur might,
He's the best quarterback in the Big 12 on paper. Give the kid his props.
You sound real confident in that. He's the best Big 12 quarterback on paper.
Yes.
What do you mean? Why you have to say on paper?
Yeah.
Because they had the stats and stuff wrote out.
You could argue he's the best in the Big 12.
Best, period.
He might be one of the best damn quarterbacks in the country, Trey.
No.
He is one of the best.
What is he? Top
5.
3.
Top 5? Top 3?
Top 5 for sure.
He's gonna get drafted in the first round.
Yes, because people reach. He's a pro-style quarterback. But college football is pro football.
You cannot argue that this kid is not one of the best quarterbacks in college football.
He is one of the best. Who? Jalen Milroe?
Yeah.
For what? College or NFL?
No, I'm talking about this next week. Would you take him over Jalen Milroe?
Yes.
Just because Milroe's proven, I'll take Milroe.
Would you take him over
I'm
Nico?
taking Shadur Sanders.
What'd you say? What'd you say? Nico? Shit, I might. The way Nico's been that's a toss-up.
Dude, you can't say Nico's better than Shadur Sanders.
Sorry. Well, okay. Quinn.
He's playing better defenses, but
Yeah, Quinn's better than him.
Okay.
Cam Ward's better than him, yeah.
Cam Ward.
No, Cam Ward is not better than Shadur. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, he
I'll
is.
take that back.
Yeah, he is.
No, bullshit.
Yeah,
Get it out of
he's
there.
not top
he's
3.
shown more.
You had to count my fingers.
No.
That's the main fact.
Take Cam Ward out of there.
So he's not top 3.
No,
and he's
Cam Ward is
top
not a
five.
better quarterback than
He's not
Shadur
top
Sanders.
10.
I would take probably 3
Shadur
over.
Sanders is the best quarterback in the Big 12, and he's a top 3 quarterback in college football right now.
He's not. You just said he wasn't.
Yeah,
Now we were talking top
Let
3.
me tell you something. If I take Shadur Sanders and put him in the SEC on one of the better teams, win the national championship easy.
Like, I would take him over Carson Beck.
Any day.
Would you take him over Arch?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
no, he's not top 3.
You said Arch Manning?
Who else is Arch?
I had to rethink that. Yes, I'll take him over Arch.
He hasn't proved enough right now. He's up there, Trey. He's pretty good.
No.
You gotta get over that. Like, stop being a hater. Like, there's no reason to be a hater.
I won't, because there is.
So if he's the first quarterback took off the board this year, you give him his flowers?
No. I just said it would be a reach.
All right, so how many wins Colorado got to get for them to?
We talked about it at the beginning of the season. I didn't think they were going to be bowl eligible. They shouldn't have beat Baylor. And so, they still have 2 more wins to go. They're not going to win this week. They won't even come close to coming.
You are full of shit.
What if they do win? If they win this week, Trey, what are you going to do? You going to admit you're wrong about Colorado?
I'll do like Brandon Walker. I'll eat a very medium rare cooked 22-ounce steak with a properly priced bottle of wine.
I got a question for you.
I'm not eating dog shit. I'm not shoving beefy 5-layer burrito up my ass.
Yeah, we need to put a tweet out.
What?
Can they beat Florida?
No.
They beat the shit.
Colorado?
No.
Yes, they can beat
Just
Florida.
beat UCF.
Their offensive line is a paper bag. Their defensive line is not that
Have
good.
you not seen your defensive line?
Their offensive line is a paper bag.
I'm not saying they can beat them. They definitely can.
He said, would they beat them? And I said,
Yeah.
yes.
He said
They
can.
line up Saturday and they played a game in the snow.
Anybody can beat
No, if they played on a neutral site,
Alabama. What are we talking about?
They go to the
We're talking about
swamp.
fans and butts. Who gives a fuck? But no, we're talking about will they? No, they wouldn't.
Did you
Just like
not
they
see
won't win this week.
Dude, y'all let a freshman quarterback at A&M beat the dog piss out of y'all. Shadur Sanders is 10 times better than him.
to be fair, we ran for like 350, so we just ran the fucking ball.
I don't give a shit.
Colorado ain't better than A&M, so that ain't a good comparison, but they could beat Florida. They could. I don't know if they would because their D line and them stopping the run, but
Dude, you are
But anyways,
no.
the next game I got on here that David put in our notes is Florida, Tennessee.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Tennessee minus 15.5.
Tennessee's gonna beat the shit out of Florida.
Are you taking 15? Are you taking 15.5?
The line is 15.5.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah,
Everybody take Trey. What are you taking?
Tennessee minus fucking 15.
Where's the game at?
It's in Neyland.
Neyland.
Yeah.
Or at Neyland.
So
Yeah.
You don't think Billy come off a high? He might keep a little close.
Hey, look, the last time
Graham Mertz he's playing all right.
Hey, Miller Todd said stop hating
Graham,
Archie.
the way he played against A&M, I was like, he's not bad. I mean, if they,
touchdowns last year. I mean, it's like Graham Mertz is not a bad quarterback. The problem is like Billy is not a good coach, and the future is DJ Lightweight, and he needs to play.
He's getting in the portal.
I'm not hating on Archibald. I'm just stating that he ain't proved enough to be picked over Shador.
Who?
What's his
Miller
name?
Todd's talking shit.
What is Miller Todd saying out of anything?
Miller Todd, how many touchdowns you score last night?
He said I'm hating on Archibald.
He got 6 touchdowns scored on him. He better not.
Yeah,
He played middle linebacker.
Miller, how'd you play last night? Like, let us know real quick.
But I mean, Tennessee should win this game handedly. It shouldn't be close.
Okay.
And I'll take Tennessee minus 15.5. But the last time a ranked Tennessee did play Florida in Knoxville, Florida beat them. The last time Florida and Tennessee played, one of our offensive linemen tried to box one of their defensive linemen, and with their helmets on, looked real smart.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah,
Hey, a team I want to talk about real quick.
Tennessee's beaten Florida 3 times in the last 20 years.
Hey, a team I want to talk about real quick. I want to hop over to Penn State real quick.
Yeah, that's how I was going. Penn State, USC.
What's the spread at? 7?
Minus 4.5. Penn State
Penn State covers that easy.
playing LA.
Yeah, they cover that easy. Penn State's defense is going to be too much for USC. But does Penn State have a chance of winning the Big Ten this year?
No.
You don't think so?
They got a chance, but I don't know if they can hang with Ohio State or Oregon. Well, maybe Oregon.
Dude, I don't know, dude. I think Oregon's going to get exposed this week.
I honestly haven't watched a lot of Penn State, but
I don't trust James Franklin at all.
But can Penn State beat Rutgers?
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah, you can tell Joey we said it too.
They can run the ball the whole game up the middle and beat Rutgers.
Yeah, they could run backwards up the middle of the whole game and beat Rutgers. I think USC makes it close because.
Hey, Joey just texted me and said, "Bring up RU."
Yeah, we just talked about Rutgers.
Oh, we just did. You got a moment.
But I honestly think that I think USC wins this game. This is where it's Penn State. Isn't it Penn State's whiteout game? No, whiteout was.
No, it's in LA.
That's right. Yeah. So
let me erase that. I thought we were just gonna go across the board.
No. I have a feeling. I don't know.
I mean, they're kind of back against the wall. I mean, USC's kind of back against the wall. They're about to go 500 if they lose. I mean,
but there's no way USC beats Penn State.
I haven't watched a lot of Penn State ball, but I bet they can run the ball, and USC cannot.
Joey said what they say about them.
Who?
Joey.
Cares.
All right, so I'm gonna go Penn State minus 4.5 too. Yeah, I don't think they can stop the run, and they have been proved to be fraudulent. Another Lincoln Riley. It's a Lincoln Riley team in the Big Ten that don't mix.
Forces.
If somebody finds a way to shut down Ashton Genty, is Boise State just done?
Yes, that's their entire offense. I saw a stat today. Like Ashton Genty is obviously the leading rusher in the Mountain West with 1,000 some odd yards, and then. But
who are they going to play that's going to do that?
In second is Ashton Genty after contact. He's got 600 something yards, and then there's State running back at like 400 something. So he is redonkulous.
They don't play any fucking body.
The David Griffin has joined.
D. Griff.
I am here.
Dad's birthday party.
It was great.
Good to hear.
Fred is 71 years young.
Did he go for a walk today?
He went for a walk today. He decided
he's like he's gonna walk in jeans and a white T-shirt at high noon, like
No water, no water, no hat at 2
Yeah.
p.m. in the middle of the day.
Gotta make friends right back.
David, we'll catch you up real quick. We went Missouri A&M, talked about them. You got any thoughts about that?
I mean, credit to A&M. I really didn't think Mizzou would get pushed around like that, but I know I said I thought Mizzou played Boston College and Vandy close.
Really close.
I really thought they had, they struggled. I really thought that they would, get up for this game, but they didn't. A&M pushed them around. I think they ran for
300 something.
round 250 on the ground.
Yeah.
Anytime you do that, you're going to win it handedly.
A&M outgained them by 2 times of what Missouri did. It was just
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Are you dipping enough?
to beat somebody 41-10.
Yeah.
And have no turnovers in a game. That's just a mollywhopping.
Yeah, I mean, credit to A&M.
And he kicked a field goal without going for it on 4th and goal on the 3-yard line. Like, what are you doing? Giving up on your team.
It doesn't matter at that point.
Did he take the over or what? Because that hit the over.
But no, I mean, Weidman came out and played well. Who said that, Jalen? I can't see that.
Joey's disrupting our podcast.
Anyway, credit to A&M. Weidman looked good. They ran the ball well. They played good defense. I really, like I said, I thought Mizzou would play better than that, but I guess y'all talked about if Mizzou's a fraud. I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like off the top of my head, but I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. I think A&M played a really good game. I think Mizzou is a little bit overrated.
Yeah, they got Bama and Oklahoma are like their 2 big ranked matchups, which they got Auburn and
where do they play OU? I think they play them at home. I don't think that's going to make a difference. I think OU may beat them.
They go to Bama, they play OU at home. They have Auburn at home.
I don't think they look like that all year, but they definitely showed some big holes. I mean, I expected it to be a really close game, and they just came out flat from the jump. But
yeah,
they got a schedule. They can still win 9 games. But
so, do y'all think y'all's Heisman picks are all still accurate?
Yeah, I'll agree with winning the Heisman.
I had Milroe at 1.
I got Ashton Genty, and then I got
Travis Hunter.
I got Travis Hunter in the top 3. I don't know if I have him at 2, but number 2 right now. God, this is hard.
Number 2 right now is Travis Hunter.
It's kind of indistinguishable between those 2. It's like them, and then there's the field.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Because Milroe just tanked his odds from that loss. Nico just tanked his odds from that loss to Arkansas.
You got
Quinn Ewers would have to go on a warpath coming back. I mean, Dylan Gabriel's out of the picture. Will Howard's not in the picture.
Quinn Ewers will back into the top 3 if he has an electric game against Georgia.
So does Ryan? What's that kid's name? Ryan Williams. Does he have a chance to get in there?
No.
It's
no. He's not putting up the numbers that.
I mean, I think it's Genty, Travis Hunter, and Cam Ward until Miami loses.
What about Shallow? I mean, not Shallow, Shadur.
No.
Maybe if they keep winning, but
I don't know. What do you have against Shadur Sanders?
Speaking of that, Carrot, is Colorado impressive to you, Big Spoon?
They won on a Hail Mary against Baylor.
You're still fucked up about that Hail Mary. What did Unc tell you last week? Did you not learn nothing from what he told you last week on TikTok?
It shouldn't have happened.
What about the UCF game?
A lot of shit shouldn't have happened. A lot of shit shouldn't have happened. But it happened. Like they are the.
Thanks for that philosophical.
They are the real deal. They are the real deal. You got to see
it. No, they're not.
What do
They're
you
the
define real deal by, Jalen?
Could they beat Kentucky?
No.
They don't play
Exactly.
fucking Kentucky.
Exactly.
They could, but they probably don't.
Call them a real deal.
They don't play
They said they
Kentucky.
exceeded
Let's talk
my
about their
expectation.
schedule. Let's talk about their schedule.
Colorado?
Are we still on last week or are we going forward now? Where are we in the
Where
show?
we're at.
We're going forward. Talking about
They
they're
play
going to be
Kansas State this week,
They're
and
going to be
Jalen's
K-State.
thinking,
We just finished making our picks
know what?
before you got in.
You know what? I'm about to order a fucking Shadura Sanders jersey.
please,
Do
God.
You gonna order a dildo while you're at it?
He's going to order a pocket pussy that's just Deion Sanders' butthole because that's what he's just all up in right now.
We are live.
Yeah, I didn't go that far, but you just made the picks for the rest of this weekend.
Yeah, we just finished them. If you want to give yours with the lineup real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get that. Oh, it's on sale right now.
So we got OU in Texas, minus 14.5.
That spread is so damn large.
Who's?
The Red River Shootout. I mean, it's
14 and a half.
yeah. You break it down. We have the better quarterback. Obviously, we have a better offensive line than they do. Their offensive line is not very good. Their defense is better than it was during the Lincoln Riley era. The Horns have elite speed at receiver. OU front seven is a good bunch. I think they're going to be able to maybe slow down the run, but I mean, you got to respect the pass and be able to defend Bond, Bolden, Gunnar Helm, Ryan Wingo, Jonte Cook, all those guys. I don't think OU is going to be able to score that many. I don't see them scoring more than 24. So I've got the game at 38-20.
So you got them covered. I think we all have Texas winning, but me and Trey picked OU to cover.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it goes that way. I mean, I've seen.
Wait, what's the stat? I was talking about it earlier. I mean, other than year before last, obviously Texans blew them out, and but it's like what 10 of the last 12, 9 of the last 11. It's been a single score game.
Yeah, 9 of the last 11 has been a single score game, besides the 49-0 game and the I can't remember.
It's got to be one of those like Baker and Skylar Thompson years that.
Well, yeah, I mean, like Texas we've lost a lot of the last 10 games, but it's always been down to the wire. Like we always lose by 5 or by 7 or in overtime. It's always like a coin flip, and we've always come up on the short end of the stick on that one. But I mean, this game you have to throw out the records. You have to throw out, OU getting stomped by Tennessee. You have to forget that we beat Michigan. You have to forget that we have looked good in basically every game. We've looked sluggish against Mississippi State, but I mean, it's one of those games where you come out pissed off to beat the other team. Like it. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Texas wins by 3 or by 7, or it's just.
It's one of the games that you go to Texas or you go to OU to play. Yeah, that's what it is. It's.
I will say if the Horns lose this game, I will be beyond pissed off.
Did you say at lunch today if the Horns lose, you're not going out or what?
If the Horns lose, I'm not going out Saturday night. I'm going to be.
You also told me if I felt good enough to go to the game, you would not take care of me.
I said if we won, I'd take care of you.
If we lose, you just leave me. You just leave me there to suffer, basically.
That's your own fault. I mean, I told you, but in advance, and you would do it anyway. But
I've seen David after a win at the Red River rivalry, and he couldn't take care of you either way.
That was after we won by 50.
Yeah.
That was a fun day.
David, I know the beers are going to be the beers are going to be small. How many beers do you have before kickoff?
I'm going to get to the game about 9:30 or 10 with my brother. I don't know if you'll ever know the state. Well, Trey has, but Cole probably has. All of you probably have.
Nope.
But the cups are wax. I guess wax cups, and they're like 10 ounces. There aren't 12-ounce beers. There's 10 ounces.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have about 15 to 20 of those before I even get into the Cotton Bowl.
God,
it's easy.
So okay,
on a hot day with some fried food, and
I think I have a picture.
Being a 2:30 kickoff.
Yeah.
Oh, you can down those real quick.
I thought they kick off at 11. It's 2:30.
They moved it to 2:30 now that the SEC moved it. But
Yeah,
all right, so if
clock.
Texas wins, what are we? So we had 25 before kickoff. What are we finishing out with? We
I'm
going bourbon? We
gonna
going
get
vodka?
the hell out of there before the sun goes down.
We going bourbon? We going vodka?
We're going bourbon.
Okay. Doubles with Maker's double with a Coke.
Yeah, gonna have a little corn dogs after. Maybe dip the corn dog in the cocktail, possibly. See how that
Make sure we get live video of that.
Corn dog in the cocktail.
People put corn dogs in milkshakes. People put French fries in milkshakes. I mean, we can.
Yeah, French fries. I've done that.
But,
Jalen does some weird stuff with corn dogs.
I'm gonna say this real quick
I
before
don't even like corn dogs.
and we can move on. I don't see OU really, stonewalling us on defense. Like, I think the Horns are going to score 30. I think the only way that OU can really win is if they force us to turn the ball over. We give them some good, like, positive field position. They convert, and we just play really just not well.
Yeah, I mean, Dave was saying earlier that the only way he sees Oklahoma even have a chance to win is if them like winning the turnover battle by 3 or something.
Yeah, and I mean, it's possible Quinn could throw some picks early, being a little rusty. I just don't see it. I just don't see how we would need to turn the ball over 3 to 4 times like we did last year, and we almost won that game. But I have a hard time believing that OU is going to be able to move the ball efficiently. I mean, Michael Hawkins Jr. He's obviously a dual threat. He can make some plays on his feet, but if that's the only way they can move the ball, then so be it. I'm happy with that.
I think we see Jackson Arnold in the second half, what I was saying earlier.
Possibly. I mean, it's it really depends how the first half goes. Like, if Texas goes up 14-0, then I think the game's going to be essentially over. But I like the Horns 38-20.
Yeah, we already talked about it, but Texas is it's gonna be hard to beat Texas this week. Oklahoma to beat Texas this week. I don't know, dude. I had a lot of hope on Oklahoma this year, and they just look like shit.
Why would you have hope in Oklahoma this year?
Because I like
Jackson Arnold.
I like Jackson Arnold.
He saw him play in the state championship game, so he loves him.
Yeah, kid had a hell of a career, didn't guy, and
They lost their entire offensive line. The Texas D. That's another thing. The Texas front seven's going against an offensive line that is not good.
That's very true.
They're not going to be able to run the ball.
No, they can't run the ball. They're fucked.
Colin Simmons is going to commit war crimes.
Another big game this week. We need put a little time and talk into South Carolina and Alabama. Alabama's coming off that big loss. Can South Carolina go make that a ball game?
Yes, they can, but they won't win.
I think
Bama's going to come out pissed off.
Yeah, they're going to be pissed. They're going to not stop if they take a lead either. 21 is a lot of points, so I don't know if I would take that. But
does Clemson have the ACC wrapped up?
No.
I
will say, I think it was me and Cole that picked Clemson.
No, I sadly picked Georgia Tech after that.
I thought Trey picked NC State.
I picked Clemson.
Oh, we picked Clemson. Okay, the Clemson pick is coming back around. It was going south, now it came back north. So it's looking good.
No, I think I might have picked Georgia Tech.
I can't. I thought I picked Georgia Tech, but
Trey picked NC State like a joke.
But now that I'm looking at it, I mean, Clemson. Who's going to beat them? I mean,
they got to play Miami in the ACC championship game.
Well, yeah, they'd have. Yeah, they don't play them.
Miami. That's another thing. Miami should have beat them. I turned that off halfway through the third, and I was like, Miami lost. Like, they're down 25. And then I wake up on Sunday and they won by 1. And I was just like, how do you blow a game like that? And I didn't get to see the targeting call, but Jalen tells me it was egregious. So, I mean, Miami's ranked number 5, right?
6, maybe?
No, they're number 6.
That's a joke. Miami is not that good.
So
I don't know.
What do you think their issue is?
I mean, you have to win on a last play call against Vatek, who's not that good. Then you're down 25 against Cal, who's a Pac-12 team playing in the ACC. You got them down. Miami's down 25 points to Cal. I mean, it's like we were talking about earlier. The signs were there with Mizzou. They barely beat Boston College. They played a tight game with Vandy. Of course, we just learned a lot about Vandy. Like, the signs are there. But who does Miami have to go through? They have to go through Louisville.
They got a bye week this week. I was just looking at it. They play Louisville, Florida State, Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and Syracuse. I mean, Duke could beat them.
Duke could beat them. Louisville could beat them. I mean,
Georgia Tech can if they play a good game.
after what I saw last weekend,
Georgia Tech?
I thought you said Florida State.
No. Maybe they said DJ, right?
Another team that we nobody's talking about is SMU.
Probably
Ranked 25.
I had SMU over Louisville. Credit to me.
SMU's looking kind of.
I mean, they're a lot better than they have been. Sure. I don't even know who that coach is.
Brett Lashley.
How long has he been there?
He took over after Sonny.
Probably
After Sonny left for TCU.
Dykes.
Old Sonny Dykes. Now he's about to get up out of Fort Worth in probably a year or two.
Yeah. I guess y'all covered Tennessee, Arkansas. What a choke job, honestly.
We honestly didn't. We forgot to talk about that one.
Y'all didn't talk about Tennessee, Arkansas?
No.
No, we were trying to skip over to the
We talk about Josh. I mean, like when the year they had Hendon Hooker, they were putting up 40, 50 points a game. And then last year they take a step back with Milton. And then Nico's supposed to be the guy. And then they go and they scored 25 on OU. They kind of, in my opinion, let the foot off the gas. And then they go and only scored 19. They only scored 14 against Arkansas.
14, yeah.
And we make Heupel to be this offensive savant, and then you only score 14 against Arkansas? I just don't get that. I mean, how do you –
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. But Arkansas, I mean, their defense, especially their D-line, is really, really solid. But, yeah, I mean, nobody expected Tennessee to score 14 points.
I just don't
I don't know, man. It was a bad week for a lot of teams in the top 10 last week.
It was a great week.
It was a great week for college football. Because of
And it's supposed to be – everybody's like, hey, we came off the Georgia-Bama.
It's apple picking.
We got one ranked matchup. It's going to be a little slow week.
Yeah, it's the weekend you tell your girlfriend you can go do whatever because there's not supposed to be any good games. And then there was.
Yeah. I don't know. We were at the bistro Saturday. We kept walking in and out of South First Street trying to catch a little action of that Alabama game. And then I remember everybody coming outside, oh, shit, Alabama just lost.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think, who said it last week that keep an eye out for Vanderbilt? Was it David?
I said keep an eye out for Arkansas.
Somebody said keep an eye out for Vanderbilt. I
I
can't
think
remember.
Craig said Vandy might was going to cover something.
So, I don't know, man. This week
We got ball knowers on here.
This could be an interesting week also.
Yeah. I mean, it could be.
This was slated to be the weekend that everybody was going to watch because of the matchups at the beginning of the year. I mean, I remember the whole thing on Twitter was, October 12th weekend. Don't schedule anything.
I remember you texted me like 2 or 3 months ago, like, go look at the week 6 slate.
Yeah, go look at October 12th. It was
week 7. Week 6. No, week 7. Yeah, week 7.
Who do y'all got in Ohio State, Oregon?
We all took Ohio State.
I took Oregon.
Trey took Oregon. Me and Jalen took Ohio State -3.
In Eugene.
Who do you got, David?
It's the first Ohio State real test.
I'm going to take Ohio State based on the past because James Franklin has been at Penn State for 10 some odd years.
You talking about Oregon?
I'm sorry.
Ryan Day?
I was jumping ahead to Penn State, USC.
Ryan Day?
I mean, Dylan Gabriel, watching him last year at OU, then seeing his stats at Oregon this year, I just think that it's a different system. I think Ohio State's defense, I think, will be too much for that scheme, and I think Ohio State is going to walk in there and probably win by 10-14. I just don't think that Dylan Gabriel is good enough against that Ohio State defense to get them over the hill.
Yeah. Yeah, and Oregon's O-line hasn't looked the best. So
no, they haven't. I mean, then they struggled in the beginning of the year, and then they barely beat Boise. They squeaked by Idaho. But they've been playing better. I don't trust them. I don't trust them enough to pick them. I don't trust them enough to win. So I'm taking Ohio State.
I was tempted to since I picked them to win the Big Ten, but
yeah, you kind of put yourself in the corner there.
But I went Ohio State, which is kind of weird. But
what I meant, I was on track to saying is it's USC Penn State this weekend. It's in LA, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Penn State -4.5.
I'm taking USC.
Sam?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't trust James Franklin because
at all.
I mean,
Big Riley guy.
I was in the previous game. I was saying that James Franklin has been there about 10 years, maybe 12 years. And I think he's he played Michigan and Ohio State twice every year, or those two games every year. So that's at least 20 to 24 games. I think he's won one of those games.
Yeah.
He's not good in big games. I don't trust them to go all the way to the West Coast. But I mean, I think it'll come down to the wire. I mean, I think USC is much more physical on defense, but I mean, they struggled with UCLA last week to score points. And of course, USC just lost to Minnesota. Offensively, I give the edge to USC, but I think it's going to come down to the wire. I got USC by 5.
Damn. You think they can stop the run game?
I mean, they held up against Michigan for a long time.
You're going to stack the box and make
Drew Aller beat them.
Michigan, they did, but they also ran it down their throats to win the game. But
Drew Aller is as good as he's supposed to be.
One-dimensional.
Talking about it, they should win the game, but I had zero faith in James Franklin.
I got the Trojans winning at home because I don't trust James Franklin.
Yeah, at
all.
all.
So you trust Lincoln Riley?
Yeah, he's won
at home better. Yeah.
Yeah,
I do not. So we're doing Ole Miss, LSU. Ole Miss 3.5. Who you got on that one?
LSU. I got LSU getting revenge from last year. I don't know if y'all remember that game from last year, but it was a shootout, and Jaden Daniels, they went into the Grove and won. They lost. It's 53-47 or something like that. I mean, it's hard to go into Death Valley at night and win, so I'm going with that. I'm going with LSU. Yeah. LSU remains undefeated. Texas is going to remain undefeated in the SEC. It's going to come. The SEC is going to be a gauntlet down the stretch. It's going to get real interesting, especially if A&M beats LSU.
If Florida can win a game coming home, it'll get real weird.
Yeah, you might make the Meineke Car Care Bowl.
If they make a bowl game, that's a win right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Y'all got 3 right now, right?
If they make a bowl game, Billy needs to do his job.
If y'all beat Texas, I'm not coming on the show.
If they beat Texas,
you won't beat Texas.
So look. The thing is they're going to fire the coach before they play Texas.
I said at the beginning of the year, after the Georgia game, you can go back and look at the tape. I said after the Georgia game, I think Napier's gone.
Yeah, who do you play the next week?
Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And when we had Chris Phillips on here from SEC Unfiltered, he was like, if they lose to UCF, he's gone, which I think he was right, but Florida beat them.
Kept the dogs away.
I think
I got tears in my eyes, boys.
I think what we're seeing in the Gulf of Mexico, I think it's possibly God's wrath on Billy Napier.
I think it's God's wrath on the
Hurricane Helene, now Hurricane Billy out there in the Gulf of Mexico.
Our thoughts and prayers are with Florida. But yes.
Yes. No, totally unserious thoughts and prayers for the state of Florida.
I know that
it is all the poop guy's fault. Absolutely.
It might be.
You're onto something there.
I think Florida,
it's the poop
Florida
guy.
Football, Florida State and Florida is down bad this year.
Tremendously.
Has anybody? I know we're getting a little bit off subject with this. Has anybody seen what Tatis is doing?
Fernando?
Yeah,
Oh God.
They won the series. Or they're
he's
probably going.
4 home runs. He hasn't struck out this postseason.
Manny Machado lives in David Roberts' head.
So last or second to last, Colorado, K-State versus Colorado. K-State minus 4.5. Who you got, David?
K-State.
Yeah. It's not. I mean,
Like we wrote that one down.
I think there's 3 ball knowers on this.
I bet you can guess who picked Colorado.
Probably 2 ball knowers when it comes down to it.
Hey, I won.
Hey, I'd say they would win 6 games.
Sorry.
Hey, shout out to me. Week 5, I won the matchup. I go 6-1.
We hadn't even kept score thanks to
Me. I'll add it up.
Marshall down there.
I got all the papers. I got all the papers right here.
Okay.
So I won
I got last week's.
Georgia. I won K-State. I won the A&M Arkansas game. I won OU Auburn. I won SMU Florida State, and I won Illinois. Fuck all y'all.
I still might be. Well, no, you're probably leading now.
Mm.
Did you pick last week? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So you're disqualified. Doesn't
You
count.
disqualified, yeah. So,
Yeah.
So, hey,
anyway.
shout out to us. We're still in it. David is not.
I don't care. I'm gonna drink 1,000 beers this weekend and beat OU.
Florida, Tennessee minus 15.5. You got Tennessee?
Last time a ranked Tennessee played in Neyland Stadium against Florida, Florida beat them. Florida's
You
also
did.
won 17 out of the last 20.
And you did pick Tennessee minus 15.5, Trey.
Absolutely, I did.
I'll take Tennessee minus 15.
Okay, that's a sweep. Y'all got anything else you want to talk about?
I like talk a little
Phillies.
baseball.
Mets beat the Phillies in 4 games, which was just great. I hate Philadelphia. There's 2 teams that I don't want to see win the World Series, and it's Philadelphia and New York. And New York's tied 2-2 right now in the bottom 7th. Aaron Judge is probably the worst postseason player ever to be good in the regular season. He can't do anything, and it is great to watch. And just because the at-bats mean something. And so when you strike out at a 30% clip, you fucking suck in the postseason. And obviously the Astros lost. That sucked. Detroit, I think they've got one more game to beat Cleveland. They're up 2-1. And then LA's up early against the Padres, which is shocking in this game. 1-0 in the first. But San Diego can win tonight and take it. It's going to be – the postseason is fun. I mean, the Yankees have the biggest payroll in baseball, and the Dodgers spent $1 billion in the offseason and aren't going to make it to the World Series.
I don't think the Dodgers win another game in that series.
I'm saying they probably won't make the World Series. Like New York's one of the hottest teams in baseball. Detroit's one of the hottest teams in baseball. And it's – the Yankees have like a $300-some-odd million payroll, and all the other teams in the AL that are still there combined don't, I think, add up to like $315 million. With Cleveland in second. Or sorry, Kansas City in second. They hired some old
After a parlay tonight, I need to check it.
I won you that parlay the other night. You didn't think Kansas City was going to beat New York.
Dude, I took another one tonight. I forgot what I did.
Playoff baseball is like one of the best times of the year because you have it in the season. It absolutely is. I mean, there's the electricity of playoff hockey is probably unmatched at a game.
I'm out on that shit.
Like each team has 27 outs. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like teams can kneel it out in football, but everybody's going to get a fair shake, and it makes it fun.
I think March Madness is better than MLB playoffs.
Oh,
I agree.
absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No.
When I get the bracket right this year, we're taking this podcast to the next level. I'm going to be the first ever to get the bracket right.
We'll be doing our own college game day.
Yeah.
Saturday.
show.
Yeah.
We'll have a private jet. It's going to be everything we ever wanted.
Well, yeah, because when you get the bracket right, Warren Buffett's going to pay you $1 billion. So then you buy Crown Colony, and this podcast goes to the moon.
Hey, we're on the moon right now. We got 604 have watched this.
I
tonight.
appreciate all of y'all watching.
Yeah, please like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. But we appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Well, I got nothing left to say. I'll be live from Dallas. I'll be getting to the fair about 9 to 10 a.m. I'll be drinking some cold ones. What do we got in the morning slate? Nothing really, I don't think.
Morning slate.
We got Alabama, South Carolina,
Okay.
Clemson, Wake Forest, and then Missouri, UMass. It's the only one on top 25 I got.
What's the spread in the Clemson game?
-20.
Yeah, I'd hammer Clemson. Clemson's been hot.
Then Utah and Arizona State are playing Friday with Utah -4.
That's a small spread. I expected a lot more about Utah this year. I mean, Cam Rising went down, and then is he back yet?
According to my sports app, said his hand's still hurt, but I'm sure it says questionable. So
I don't know. The Big 12 race is going to get interesting. The SEC race is going to get even more interesting. The Big 10, it's Ohio State or Oregon. Penn State, outside shot, but I don't trust James Franklin. And the ACC is coming down to Clemson, Miami for the 4 seeds. So, and then you got the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, who we'll see where they end up. I think they're going to drop another game, but
think so.
I mean, they got to play USC. They got to play.
They play USC.
Yeah, they play USC every year. USC or Notre Dame plays.
Yeah, pull it up.
I think they may play Louisville.
They play Stanford, Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, Virginia, Army, and USC. So basically just USC.
I think they're going to drop one more.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, USC would be the one that I would.
Does 10-2 Notre Dame with a loss to NIU get in?
No.
I mean, they overhype in Notre Dame all the time, but I would hope not.
I don't think they're going to get in. I think there's potential where.
Yeah, so we haven't talked about this. Have y'all seen the scenario of Army Navy?
Where the troops are undefeated and one of them goes undefeated?
Well, no, so they have to play each other.
Yeah.
But
They can play each other 3 times, I saw.
Yeah, so they'll play each other. One could win. And then you have the conference championship game. So they play each other again. And then they have the Army-Navy game the week after the conference championship game.
Wait. Army-Navy play each other the last week of the year after the conference championships.
Yes.
And then they would play in the conference. They're not in conferences.
Yeah, they're in the same conference. They're both in, I think, the American.
Who's the
Yeah,
American conference?
I saw something on Twitter about that. They can play 3 times.
They can
So
play.
the regular season, the championship, then the playoff? How would they both make the playoff?
Well, no, they wouldn't. So they play each other 3 times. They play each other in the season. They play each other in the conference championship game. And then they play each other at the end of the year in the Army-Navy game.
No.
Yes.
The Army-Navy game in December is when they play each other for the first time.
No.
No.
Yeah, they're in a conference with each other this year.
Why would they play each other twice? No, I refuse to believe this. No,
I promise you.
the Army-Navy game, no.
How would they play 3?
That doesn't make any sense. Why would they play twice in the regular season?
You know, David, I saw
It's an exhibition game at the end of every year.
another crazy scenario that I don't even want to really put out there. But if A&M and Texas are atop the SEC and they played last week of the year and then play again,
It could happen.
That'd be pretty wild. But I don't even want to. That's
Because there is
like
no
a lot of ball though.
Like if Texas has no losses or one loss, and then A&M has
One.
They can both go into the game. They can both go into the game undefeated, and if A&M is, they'll own tiebreakers, and Texas will because they'll own.
They can play back to back.
And
I guess it could be possible that game could be inconsequential because it's possible that
Both be undefeated in conference.
A&M has 0 SEC losses, and it's possible that Texas has 0 losses. And say, if we beat Georgia, that would be 2 SEC losses for them. If Bama loses another game, that's 2 SEC losses for them. If A&M's undefeated in the SEC, the LSU would have 1 loss.
If they have 1 loss and we beat them,
Especially if they lose to Ole Miss this week, then that game could be inconsequential because we would both already clinched the SEC possibly.
yeah, because we'd have beat LSU.
That's
yeah, that's wild.
then it's like we just me and Cole just have a handshake. We'll see you next week. That's the real rivalry game.
Yeah. They put a tweet out that the tickets for that game right now are more than a Super Bowl rematch right now.
Yeah, it's like $300 more than the Super Bowl rematch between the Niners and Chiefs.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like if we both have 0 SEC losses,
even if it's like
we both already clinched the SEC. I mean, yeah, I still want to be A&M, but I mean, the pain of the loss would be numb substantially because I already know I'm going to Atlanta the next week.
It would not be numb substantially. You lost to A&M, and you know it would hurt.
You would have it's like a series, I guess, type deal. Like you would have another.
I would rather lose in College Station than win in Atlanta, and Cole would probably agree with me. He'd probably want to lose in College Field than win in Atlanta.
I think you would, because either way, I think you would rather win in College Station because you go to the SEC championship game knowing you're in the playoff. If you lose twice, you're not. Because then one lost Georgia is sitting there.
I don't think so.
Do you put them out the playoff for losing the conference championship?
I don't think so. I think the loser would fall to like probably an 8 to 10 seed.
No.
Yeah.
I think you're out.
No.
There's going to be a one-loss SEC team in there, and you lost twice to A&M. Why would they put you in there? Or you lost twice to Texas. Why would they put you in there?
Because
then it's like you're getting punished for making the SEC championship game, and it's
Seen that happen.
I mean, regardless
unless somebody gets blown out, which it would be a good. I don't see how they would knock somebody out for that.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm about to go to bed.
Good night.
Night.
I got a big day tomorrow.
Oh, input on this, David. If Florida and Colorado played on a neutral field, who would be favored?
Where is the neutral field?
They're playing in Dallas.
50-50, Florida.
They're playing at the
Colorado
Cotton
fans.
I think it's probably
I think it's like Florida
Colorado -2.
Yeah.
It's essentially a pick 'em, I think. But
I think it'd be a hell of a game.
if Trey lost to Colorado, I don't think he'd survive it.
Hell no. But yeah, ready to wrap it up?
It's gonna happen. It's
I
gonna happen.
think Jalen in the middle of this episode while you were gone did say that Colorado is legit, and then I proposed the question: could they beat Kentucky? And he said no. So
I did not say no. I said they don't play each other.
sorry, Cole said no. So,
I think they could beat Mississippi State. They could beat Florida, and they could.
They could beat Auburn. They could beat South Carolina.
I think they could beat Vandy.
They could beat A&M.
Anybody? That's what I'm saying. Anybody could beat anybody.
I don't think Colorado could beat.
You saw Vandy beat Alabama. The
We would
argument is
run it all day.
not missed on me. Is Colorado a good team? No.
I just said they exceeded my expectations. That's all I said.
Well, they have one fluke win on a fluke Hail Mary, and that's just Baylor being Baylor. But hey, I'll take a Baylor loss any day of the week.
Like they're gonna get routed by Avery Johnson in Kansas State.
Yeah,
You
I
said
think
by what, 14?
3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
3?
it will not be close.
Okay.
K-State's
What time do they play? Let me see.
They play at 9:15 p.m. I'll be passed out.
I'll be tuned in. But y'all want to wrap it up?
I will be coming live from the Cotton Bowl.
680 people. That's the highest we've ever had. We thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate Dave joining us tonight from SEC Unfiltered. That was huge. We appreciate those guys for everything they've done for us, helping us grow our show. Big weekend for college football. we'll be back next week to talk about it. Last week was great. A lot of big upsets. Maybe we can keep it rolling this week. You never know.
I want to end it on a poll. Should Reed go to the Texas OU game?
Yes. Wow. Yes.
His girlfriend's a Longhorn.
I don't know.
Memories.
He said he's expensive. I said put 4 guys in a room together. Figure it out.
But y'all like and subscribe.
David will take him under his wing. He can stay with. He can run with David all weekend.
He could run with Hunter all weekend. He's
Hunter's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Hunter Jones. We went to Austin. He showed us nothing but the best hospitality.
And I would say the old ATO house, but they bulldozed it and built their own house.
No, it's the same house.
No, they bulldozed it.
They didn't bulldoze the ATO house.
Yeah, they did.
Where is the ATO house, Trey?
He's about to get your ass.
It's off of
You called the Ubers, didn't you?
He's looking it up right now.
I'm going to the Uber receipt.
Yeah.
Were you in ATO, David?
I was. I know that house is still standing.
You were. You still are.
He's alumni.
I am.
He is.
That house is still standing.
LBJ Presidential Library. Is that anywhere close? No, that's where he went. No, Eden Drive. Damn. It's. I sent it to one of y'all.
26. Pretty sure if I remember that right.
I don't fucking know. Just
The Ubers were on your phone.
yeah, but remember we didn't put the right address in because she dropped us off. She was like, "Oh, I know."
Y'all think y'all know Austin better than I do?
Trey was a project manager on the job.
He must have been messing with y'all or something.
No.
I'm
David still standing.
It's gonna be a reunion. Like, are you gonna meet up with all your ATO brothers this weekend?
Yeah, there's going to be probably 30 to 40 deep of us. Yeah. Plus my brother and his wife. So
You gonna be on your best behavior and represent Loud from the Pines the right way?
be on my worst behavior and do the most reprehensible things.
I'll be getting my mouth cut up tomorrow.
1002 West 26th Street.
No.
That's where
Let's just give out their address.
The ATO house is on Shoal Creek Boulevard.
Was this while you were on campus or off campus?
On campus. The house is still there.
Stop. Shit.
I know my shit.
I was just repeating what they told us.
What you got told is wrong.
Well, again, thank you to everybody.
Go Horns.
We'll holler at y'all. Cole, did you get